The water for our tiny house?
Yes.
That's another thing that we've worked with a lot over the past few years is finding different ways to get and process water. We're looking at rain catchment systems and water filters. If you notice from the ground floor schematics, we did separate the bathroom and the kitchen, and I know a lot of times in tiny house design they say you should keep your plumbing together. But I don't have a problem with not having running water in the kitchen area if we have the water filter there. We're looking at compost toilets, but I'm also open to incinerating toilets. I think are cool, and I found this one where they, when you flush it, it packages it for you, and it's not the most eco-friendly solution, but I think depending on where we're going to be, I think we have a lot of options with that. Also, using gray water. Obviously, if I was going to be gardening somewhere, there would be use for the water in that respect.
And heat, you're in the Catskills.
Yeah, no, we're not going to stay in the Catskills.
Oh.
But even in this climate, you know, heat is
Yes.
is a factor. I just came from the Catskills. It's not too much colder than this here.
Yeah.
I love wood. I feel like wood can be sustainable. A lot of the wood that we use, even in that cold climate, is foraged wood that's from fallen trees and older trees. I love the idea of a tiny wood stove. I'm also not totally opposed to some propane. I think, obviously, we all love solar, you know, as the whole package. But I think for where we are right now, we'll probably work with some solar, some 12-volt, some propane.
So are you looking to build this in Philadelphia?
I would love to. I would love to. I want to do it as a barn raising. The performer in me wants to do it publicly around storytelling, stories of home. And one of my missions as an artist is to really take this framework that I've created for viewing the eco-art traditions of African Americans through a blues paradigm. And looking at the people who gave America the blues and their connections to the earth and DIY self-reliance. So, yeah, I'm hoping that we could definitely look at it from an art perspective and do it here.
And do you have a place in mind, or you're looking?
I'm looking. I have a few arts organizations in mind that might be interested, but I haven't seen any of them go this completely in this direction, but I'm hoping that some forward-thinking Philly organizations will be open to it.
And is this something where you're trying to build a community around it, or are you more traveling and teaching and doing it as an exhibition?
Both. Ultimately, I would love to create an artist village for people of color and allies. I'm open to a lot of options, though. Before we looked into building a tiny house, I was working with a group of people who were interested in acquiring land to build a small village. And at the time, they were looking at container houses, but people, you know, lives come up and things happen, and the group kind of fell apart. But it's still in my vision. I definitely want teaching to be an aspect of it, regardless. But I'm willing to do it as a solo exhibition until, you know, I found my tribe.
You said that you were, I guess, had the money for adopting an RV, which is cheaper than the trailer bed. So it's going to be, as opposed to something pool, something you drive?
Yes. And I also have the option and advantage of repurposing the mechanical equipment that's in it. So we're going to kind of cannibalize it to create this new thing.
Okay.
So that's, it's tossed my budget up, but it's in a good way.
Have you seen that done on an RV? I'm trying to envision it. Have you seen that in action before?
I have. I'm talking to a colleague of mine who has a little bit more experience with the building aspect of it, and what I'm trying to figure out is how much wood we can actually put on it. You know what I mean? So we might have to go with lighter materials, but yeah.
Would it be, would it be that much different from a trailer bed, from like a construction standpoint?
It wouldn't, except for the weight recommendations.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I still have a lot of room to play, but I'm looking into it now. And this type of thing, I showed you 2 sets of plans, but that's like my 12th. It's something that you do over and over. You re-sketch it, and as materials come to you, as resources make themselves known. I'm hoping I can still use those beautiful doors that I have.
What are your plans for power?
For power? Oh, we want to do a mixture to begin with. Probably 12 volt, like the deep cycle battery.
Right.
Some solar. I'm thinking like the basic, backpack type setup that, would just do the phone and computer and things like that. Propane as a backup.
For heating water, are you familiar with some people use for their pools? It's a series of like black tubes they use for pool heating.
No.
A friend of mine installed one as a pool heater. It's a series of black PVC pipes you install on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And since you already have the pump for the pool water is pumped up on the roof.
Oh,
And it trickles through this radiator type device and then back into the pool.
and that would be great for like your, yeah.
And I think
great for like
he
your
said he got
shower.
like 5 to 10 degrees out of it. Without having to spend the $50,000 or whatever for solar panels.
Yeah. And I've seen some propane hot water heaters at Arcadia too. But that sounds great. Yeah, that's part of why I want to do it as a public conversation, because I know that, YouTube can only take me so far. I've been able to, get in contact with engineers and carpenters. It really, brought us along, in our knowledge of it and our confidence to actually, try to accomplish this. And my partner has a background in construction, so that's a little helpful.
Well, thank you very much. And let's stay in touch in the next immediate future as you draw up your plans.
Definitely.
Great.